Hi everybody and welcome to Sexual Healing Through Yoga. I'm Wendy Strgar and this is my dear friend Caitlin Young and my yoga teacher. And we have been doing a bunch of different series about how to use yoga poses, really safe yoga poses, to enhance your sexual relationships and your sexual health. And today we're going to do kind of a challenging series called Twists for Sexual Yoga. And this is not something commonly associated with sexual health. And we've kind of done a little inner study about what we're getting to. We're going to show you a series of different twists. And just disclaimer, these are not my favorite poses.
Not my favorite either.
They're not our favorite poses. But they are poses that do give us a lot of physical vitality, and Caitlin's going to explain that. And I think also teach us how to expand our comfort with discomfort. So
yeah, expand our relationship. So a little bit more about kind of first the physiology, the body. Why do we do twists in yoga? And essentially it's to stimulate the natural cleansing process of the internal organs. So we rotate through the torso, and we're stimulating the liver and the kidneys and digestion, the colon. All of this is really great. So that's why we do twists. And for many of us, that's a good enough reason.
And actually, the other thing about that is that there's a lot of research, and I'm doing this radio show with this guy, about the brain in the belly and the pelvic brain. So it's like your whole system here is innervated as much as this brain system. And you sense and you know and you think here, and it's not like just some weird gut feeling thing. It's like real. You have nerves that do that for you. And so when you do these twists, it brings stuff up.
Yeah.
Right? That lives in that part of your body.
Yeah. So it can be uncomfortable, and you think about detox symptoms, right? That's literally what's happening on a micro level, but it can be thought, it can be emotion, and twists are hard. They can stir up emotions, they can stir up old stuff.
They definitely do.
They do. Yeah. And every day is a little different. Some days it's really, really elevated, and other days it's like, oh wow, twisting felt kind of easy.
So it's like, what's the relationship between dealing with what's living in your body when you twist and you try to like clear and make space, and and being your own friend. So where you know that, no, this is my limit. Do you know what I mean? And so how do you extend that space that you can befriend yourself in challenges?
Absolutely.
Right?
So
that's what, and because sex is not all joy and roses, right? I mean, it has that component too, you know, that we face these challenges in our sexual relationships, and sometimes pain and discomfort. And how do
especially as we talk about long-term intimacy.
For sure, in long-term intimacy, but even sometimes with somebody you just met, just trying to figure it out. So, you know, without forcing yourself to stay in something that you can't breathe in, but also like, is there a safe place to learn how to experience discomfort and have it teach you?
Yes, and that safety is another component that we'll talk about. You know, what it really is a twist is an opportunity to practice your relationship with difficulty.
Right.
So how much fits for you is going to be your story. It's going to be different over time. And it's different between Wendy and I, as we had a conversation about what our relationship to twist is. How much do we want to stay in that discomfort? How much do we want to challenge ourselves? How much do we want to be gentle and back off? And those are all things that we're going to hopefully give you the opportunity to explore for
right
yourself.
now with us. Yeah. So the first one we're going to do is pretty easy, actually, and it's not that uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And this is actually a nice place to start a practice, just to sort of think about what your flexibility is. And so Caitlin's going to show it first. Okay. And do we stay up
I think we could actually just both do it together right here.
So we can stay up on this.
Yeah.
Okay,
so we're going to first find a seated position, and we're going to think about rooting down through the sitting bones and lengthening up through the crown of the head. And let's just take a couple deep breaths into the low belly, letting your shoulders drop, and coming into that awareness of the balloon breath or the low belly breath. So you breathe in, the belly expands. You exhale, the navel draws gently toward the spine, the pelvic floor lifts in and up. Good, and let's just do one more breath like that. Inhaling to soften, expand, lengthen, and exhale to tone and stabilize. Beautiful. Now with our next inhale breath, we're going to lengthen. And as we exhale, we're going to tone the waist and then rotate from the heart center to the right. Good. The left hand will come onto the right knee. The right hand will come behind the lower back. And we're looking for this nice sense of length up through the crown of the head, down through the sitting bones. Let's pause for 3 breaths. And so staying with that low belly breath, the inhale breath expands, the exhale breath tones, and with that toning, maybe a little bit more rotation from the heart center. So keeping in mind that we're not cranking or yanking ever in any twist, but we are stimulating the waist, the organs, the breath. And with your next inhale, we'll unwind and take it to the other side.
I just have to say that when you like are kind of guiding through that process for me, I go into it a whole different space. I really do. And I feel like I did open. Did I look pretty tall?
You looked really tall. And so what we're looking for is head on top of hips, and that's what you had going on for sure.
Yeah, and you know, it wasn't totally uncomfortable, but I was working to hold that because you really have to, again, you know, everything comes to your pelvis. Everything's about your pelvis. If you can't hold here, then you're twisting your hips to come with you, right?
Right.
So maybe show it wrong.
So the hips, okay, so hips are not staying rooted, and then we get this rotation.
Right. And
so there's this is all the things we don't want. We don't want the hips to shift. We don't want the spine to collapse. Mm-hmm. And we don't want to be yanking with the neck.
Right.
Oh, this is so yucky.
Yeah.
And there's a way you can dance.
So you
too.
like maybe do less. Yeah. It's like really you do less to do it to like really do it in your whole body.
Yeah. So should we go to the other side?
Yeah, let's show again.
So inhale to lengthen up nice and tall, soften the belly. And with your next exhale, navel to spine, rotating from the heart. And I love the image of the heart as a lighthouse, right? That's our light. We're shining smoothly. So right hand to right, or to left knee. Left hand can come to the low back, or it can even creep around to the front of the right hip if you wanted to take this a little bit deeper. And then we'll pause for 3 breaths.
And I can't do this, what she's doing here. I can't get here.
That's okay.
And actually, and this is enough. Yeah. So actually, it's really good to notice that sometimes smaller is better.
Smaller, you know? Yeah. Often,
sometimes.
Often you know? With twists, it's a great place to keep the breath moving, keep the awareness going. Yeah, and there's that little lift in and up, rotating from the heart and softening the shoulders. Very nice. Inhaling to come on back. And that's our first twist. So great way to warm up.
And it does warm you up.
Warming up the vertebra, warming up the breath, warming up the internal organs.
Yeah. So join us again, and we're going to go deeper into twists. And we'll be right back. So stay with us.